ready for the show to begin?
Hey, let's go. Let's get it. It's almost showtime. Let's go. Let's get it. It's almost go time. Let's freaking go.
That's right. Let's go. Let's get it. What's happening?
What's going on? What's going on?
I totally did not change it, but do you know that this is episode 49 of the Bright Side Chronicles?
Is it really?
It sure
Holy
is.
shoot, damn.
Crazy.
Damn.
So anyway, you want to let the listening audience know what this is about, or are you gonna have me do it?
No. I'll go right ahead. So the Bright Side Chronicles was created and co-founded with the help of Miss Kerri Lewis right over here, and Nana, aka Onassis. But no, what it is it's basically an hour of just talking about joy, happiness, things that bring you a sense of peace. You know what I mean? It's just a non-scripted, just freestyle. Sometimes we have guests on here, sometimes we don't. And if we don't, we still have a great time. And shout out to all the listening viewers that you can chime in, ask any questions. It's a freestyle. But I get excited for this little 1 hour segment every week. So yeah.
I love it. So I'm going to jump in because, I always got something to say. As our kids say, Mama, you're a yapper. Yeah, damn right I got something to say. Anyway.
Go ahead.
The Bright Side Chronicles for me is my passion because we are literally being programmed to feed negativity, which is a low vibrating energy. And I study quantum physics. And so you and I kind of thought to ourselves, instead of complaining about the fact that there's this negative narrative all the time, why not change it? Take action and do something about it. And so really every week we talk about positivity. We interview people who have stepped into their joy, what they do to cultivate that joy. And to your point, people can join live through the chat and kind of share their thoughts on whatever comes up for us when we are discussing joy. So it's an hour of just having a good time.
Grateful for it. We support that.
So I actually really do want to jump right in because I was thinking about this today as I was doing my studying. Yesterday, you had me laughing because you told me that you hung up on somebody at work because they were rude, right? And I'll let you share that in a minute.
Yep.
But this is what I really want our listening audience to understand. Part of living the bright side of life, like really living a joy-filled life, is not tolerating people treating you poorly and allowing people to step on your boundaries or, dismiss you, whatever capacity. And as somebody who has studied world theology, right, I think about Lao Tzu, who wrote the Tao Te Ching, among another book. And in that, it talks extensively about the fact that be love. And if you have to take action to hold somebody accountable, take action, then step back into love. And I think that's pretty much what you did. But what I loved that you shared with me is that you didn't allow somebody to treat you poorly just because you were at work and they thought that they could speak to you in some type of disrespectful way.
Would you like me to digress how it transpired, by the way?
That's up to you.
Absolutely.
To you, my love.
All right. So it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I am sitting on a desk where we answer phone calls of incoming calls or whatever. So this gentleman gets transferred to me, and I'm like, hey, welcome to Hara. This is Nana. How may I help you? The regular cliche thing. And so the guy's like on the phone. He's like, I'm looking for a hybrid Toyota. And I said, that's absolutely fine. Like, what type of hybrid? Are you looking like SUV, sedan? He said, I'm looking for a hybrid Toyota. And I'm like, okay, like, is it Camry, Corolla, RAV4? What type of vehicle? And then he says RAV4. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So I was like, well, we have new or used. Are you looking which one? And he's like, either or. And I'm like, okay, cool. Whatever. And then he's like, you know what? I want a 2024. Mind you, a 2024 would be a used vehicle because we don't sell any new 2024s. Like, there's no such thing as that. And so I'm like, that's fine, but like, why 2024? Are all the 2019s are all the same thing, same body style? And so we happen to have a 2023 RAV4 hybrid and he wanted only white or dark blue. Used cars are literally sporadic, so like I can't control whatever comes out of inventory. So I was like, well, we have a black one that has about 30,000 miles on it. It's a 2023. He's like, it has to have under 10,000 miles, and I'm just like, man, you were figuring out ways to not buy a car today. So like, literally, I'm talking to him and I'm just educating him on it, and he's like, I want somebody that can speak English. And at this point, like, it takes me a while to really like go off on a customer. But I was like, nah, we're not doing this. It's damn near 10 o'clock in the morning. Like, we just go. And then so I decided to just hang up on the person because I felt that my energy was not needed to have a conversation with this person. And I realized right off the bat, I was like, this person has to just figure it out themselves. And I'm not the person to tolerate that type of thing. That's not, I don't care if you're at my job or if we're outside, like, we're going to kindly but surely address the situation and just move on to the next thing. So it felt good. It felt rewarding. I literally went to my team leader. I said, look, I just hung up on this person. I kept it straightforward with him. I was like, this was just being super rude, and I was not one really listen and take that. So I felt good about it. I wasn't even like stressed about it. And then I went and sold a car, and it made up for everything that had happened that moment.
Well,
So
but I think the important part that I want the listening audience to hear is so often we I see people tolerate poor behavior or behavior that does not feel good to them because I really want people to understand this. This is your walk around the earth. This is your trip
mm,
and you get to experience life in a way that feels good for you. And so often I witness people tolerate other individuals, dismiss them, and treat them poorly, and not advocate for themselves because they think they're being kind and loving. But what they fail to realize is they're dismissing themselves in doing so.
mm,
And so part of what I've come to understand in living a really joy-filled life is I am super loving and I'm super kind, but I also know my worth and I'm not going to let somebody treat me poorly just because they're having a bad day or whatever. I
mhm,
may deliver a message kindly and say, listen, if you're going to continue to speak to me that way, I'm going to walk away, but I'm certainly not going to tolerate that. And that goes with whether it's our children, whether it's my family, whether it's somebody I work with, because that tells my subconscious that I'm worthy of being treated well. And when you think about manifesting,
mm.
what you feed yourself, you create and then experience more of. So I'm not about the life of being dismissed or treated poorly.
Yeah. And that's it's it's how you hold yourself, right? So like had I just fed into the ideology of like just being mistreated by the customer on the phone, what type of respect would he have if he had walked into the showroom? You know what I mean? And we talked about that in the conversation back home, and I was like, that would be a customer I would just tell my team leader, like, hey, this person is being very rude, and that would have to be addressed just to kind of like keep it kosher. Because at the end of the day, like I'd rather deal with somebody that is like very calm and understanding, where maybe they just don't know it, but if you're just oblivious and you just don't care to understand what I'm trying to portray. And when he said the whole like I need somebody that speaks English, I almost wanted to be a smart ass and be like, I've been speaking English this whole time. I don't know what language you're hearing. But like I couldn't my
You
ass.
didn't, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But, I remember when I worked for Nordstrom, I had this beautiful, coworker, Sharon, and I hired her knowing that, she had just come from Iran, so she's working on English, and I
Hmm.
put her up front because what better way to learn English and support people if she's working around other
Mm.
individuals? And this gentleman came in and treated her so poorly that I kicked him out the store. And two
Yeah.
things about that. One, that individual understood in that moment that you don't get to treat people poorly while you're in a space that I'm at because I'm going to advocate for
Yep.
individuals. And two, Sharon actually had somebody show up for her and say, wait a minute, you're worth being seen. And that's the other thing,
Mm.
and
Mm.
this is into my point. So I really choose love. I mean, I pray. Babe.
I
I
know.
go hours of scripture. I study quantum physics. I work to come from love.
Yeah.
But a couple weeks ago, I was put in a situation where I got yelled at by an individual for singing at the gym.
Crazy.
And
Crazy.
I have forgiven this individual. I've even thanked them in my head for like bringing out something that bothered me or whatever. But it kept coming up on my heart, kept coming up on my heart. And when it comes up on my soul, that's a nudge. And then another individual was telling me that this same gentleman has bullied this woman.
Mm-mm.
So after 2, 3 weeks, I couldn't let it go. I actually sent a video message to this gentleman's wife, who happens to be the director of the whole gym I go to. And I advocated for the needs of those other people, because the reality is I do come from love, but not everybody has a backbone like myself and you. Like, not everybody, and it's not that like we're more empowered. It's just we've fostered the ability to advocate for ourselves. So this isn't a diss on anybody who doesn't speak up for
Yeah.
themselves, because I didn't for a long time. It took practice, and it took me getting wounded and messing it up. But now at this stage of my life, you best be believing I'm going to advocate for myself, and I'm going to advocate for people who won't advocate for themselves or don't have the
Mm,
tools to advocate for themselves.
mm,
And so
mm.
again, going back to like this idea of a bright side of life, part of living a bright side of life is advocating for people who don't have the tools and the skills to do it, and not allowing individuals to treat others poorly and standing by and just witnessing it. Because then how can you honestly say that you live a joy-filled life when you watch another person suffer?
Ooh. Oh man, that I love that you brought that up because I've seen that happen even at cons. Like when like somebody's wearing like a cosplay and I've seen somebody try to like almost try to belittle someone because of their cosplays and I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Especially in my presence. Like I don't like I just don't think that's cool. Like who cares if it's not the quote unquote best cosplay or whatever it is? Like at the end of the day, they took time to put something together and get out their comfort zone to come out to just like enjoy themselves. So like if I do see that at a con, I'm very big to like addressing like, dude, that's not cool. Like, and I'm the type of person like I just be straightforward. Like at the end of the day, like we make this inclusive space for people to come be themselves, and somebody's bringing that negative energy. We're not. We'll check that out the door. Like you don't have to be out of there. So
Yep.
I've definitely seen
Master
it happen a couple
Skipper
of
and
times.
George, thanks for commenting. Feel free to jump in on a conversation there. Share your thoughts about the bright side. And
Mhm.
actually, Master_Skipper says, anyone who legit judges cosplay seriously, it's legit clown energy. I mean,
Yo, shout out to this. But that's
the
real stuff.
reality
Like,
is I always look at it like this, right? The reason I
mm,
can send loving energy to the guy who yelled at me for singing is because how does he feel about himself that he's pressed to somebody singing
mm,
while they're doing leg presses? Like, you know
mm,
what I mean? I'm telling you right
yeah,
now, I don't want to live his life. So I really do choose to give a lot of grace. And I do. And I always come back to, you know, how can I show up as love first for myself? Because as love, I
yeah,
extend love to another individual, but not
yeah.
allow myself to feel dismissed or allow another individual in my presence feel
Mm,
dismissed,
mm,
because that's not okay with me. And plus, I
yeah.
wouldn't feel good about it. I couldn't feel joy filled if I'm watching somebody's neck get step on. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how I roll.
I feel you on that. I feel you on that. I mean, there's just so many moments where you can, choose love over, you know, hate, quote unquote. But like, some things is just gotta just be addressed right then and there because you never know. That might be the way to just help somebody maybe shift their mentality on it. I mean, you probably, reaching out to the person's wife and letting them know, like, hey, this is going on. Like, who's to say that's discussion that had to be had to like maybe help them be like, yo, I got to be more inclusive with the environment that I'm in, especially if I'm there constantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
I
and it
get you.
also goes to another point, is being okay being rejected, right? Like, the
Mm,
reality is, you and I talk a lot about this, but we're not for everybody. People feel some type of way about you dressing in cosplay at different events, and people feel some type of way about me dropping the fuck word every 2 minutes and being
fuck
covered in
that.
tattoos.
That's
Like, we're not for everybody, but
correct.
for me, I'm okay with however that individual receives my message,
Yeah.
because I'm okay being rejected. All it does is reinforce you're either people that I want to surround myself with because you're high vibrational energy, or
Yeah.
you're people I don't. And I do want to point out for people around like living in joy, living at the bright side. It's not that Nana and I don't have disagreements or that we
We have off
don't
days.
have challenges,
Oh,
right?
without a doubt.
The difference is we're able to work through those challenges from a place of love rather than ego. And that's the difference when I say high vibrational energy, because it's not that I can't have a disagreement with somebody else. It's how can we communicate about our differences in a way that respects each other as human beings rather than dismisses and tears each other down, because
Mm,
that's how we're taught to challenge a differing point of view.
you're right. You're right. You're right. I mean, I just keep thinking of just all these opportunities that, like, being of a younger person, adolescent, where I could have chose love, but I was just caught up in ego, and I was choosing more like, let me go at someone. But if I had done it the opposite way, who knows what could have been the outcome of all that? You know what I mean? And I can't read the stuff on the bottom of the screen, so you got to read it because my phone is like it's
All
very
right, hang on.
miniature.
I'll read
So
it in 1 second. I'm
you're
copy
good.
and pasting.
You're good.
Uh, all
You're
right.
good.
So,
You're good.
Master Skipper, the world right now could use positivity, especially at cons. I'm tired of stuff like that. I can feel way too many negative energies or people
Real stuff.
harboring secret negative energy.
Real
And
stuff.
then
Real stuff.
they go on to say, uh, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Dress whatever you want. I don't care if it's 100% accurate or if it's different or your own take.
Yes.
It's all about your
Yes.
vibe, 100%.
Yes.
So, you know what?
Yes.
I would be curious. First off, again, Master Skipper, shout out to you.
Shout
We
out.
love
Shout
your
out to
engagement.
Cosmos. Okay.
Um, you bring up a really amazing point, and I would be curious to hear what your thoughts are, Aj.
Yeah, go ahead. Hit
How
me.
do you process negative energy when you experience it at a con?
Oh, dang, that's a great question. I mean, truthfully, when I'm at a con, I feel like I'm literally like just like when you walk into like like a little kid walks into a store and they see a whole bunch of like toys and they're just like in awe, like just walking through there. That is literally me at a con. So like even when there's like negative stuff going on around me or people have things that are confrontational, I normally don't even let it even phase into my thought process. Truthfully, is what it is. Like, because I'm very like I'm in that moment of joy and happiness that nothing's really like. I don't think I've had like a bad experience at any cons. I've gone to numerous cons. Like, I could tell you like all the great stuff that's always happened, but like there's never been a that was like a drama thing. Because you know what it is I don't feed into that. I go there to go and enjoy the moment. So like I never know who's arguing, who's not. Like I don't have time for that. I'm there to bring happiness and joy to myself and the people around me. So I don't even really let that phase into me. And it's like you can ask like a lot of my people. It's just like work wise. I never know what's going on with work that like I don't even pay attention. But if it's about happiness and joy, I'm with the shits. Like let me know. Like being part of like a group of people that's just vibing. Whether it's like my friends like Becky, Ash, Alex, like those are my we call ourselves the what is it what the frick is it called? Not the Fantastic Four. I don't know. It was
The
something of that nature.
Musketeers, the Three
No,
Musketeers.
it was a name that we came up with a name. It was like something for it, but it was basically just like when we went to like PAX East last year to like Rhode Island Comic Con and stuff like that too. Like, but I have great people around me, and that transpires to all the cons I've gone to. I've made some genuine friends, and I get excited to see them, and vice versa. When they get excited to see me, I'm like, holy crap! Like that's cool because you've created that like image in their thought process to be like, hey, Nana's going to bring this kind of energy, and that's transpired to a lot of stuff or opportunities that's opened up with a lot of things in general too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Master Skipper says, let me read it.
Yeah,
Anyone
yeah,
who
hit me.
legit hates Nana, I have no idea why anybody would hate
Yeah,
this man.
bro,
This
I
man is
appreciate. Yo,
positive vibes.
y'all make me blush right now. Stop. It's like, chill. Yo, babe. You know what? I appreciate. To me, like I just always try to bring a welcoming environment. You know, what I mean, like if you meet me, you know that it's genuine and it's not forced. And I don't have to force anything. I just literally am like, bro, I want to make people feel like they're seen, which is a great thing because in a lot of people's lives they're not seen. And so even if it's just that moment, and you can attest that too, babe, with your line of work, like you're probably dealing with people that are just trying to figure it out. And so like it's hard for them to be seen with family, coworkers, friends, just because like, they're trying to figure out who they are as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Well, I also am a big fan of, like, allowing yourself to figure out who you are as a person outside of the good opinion of anybody else,
mm,
including
mm,
our spouses. So Nana and
yeah,
I have had conversations recently at length about, again, going back to my background, I
yeah.
study theology and quantum physics and neuroscience. And the truth is we are fluid. We are not a finite being.
Hmm.
And so who I show up to in this moment for Nana could be very, very different than how I show up tomorrow.
Yeah,
And every single day, you and I choose to love each other as we show up
yeah,
in that moment
yeah.
rather than this assumption or expectation that we be anything more than that is. And
Correct.
shit, I'm very menopausal, people. So, like, that could be a sobbing mess to
I've seen
a,
it. I've seen
to
it.
like rageful for no
Yeah.
reason. And what I love is that Nana and I have created such a safe container that we can be both the light and the dark at all times with each other and never
Mm,
feel threatened or fearful that we'll be rejected for
yeah.
not showing up as a specific identity.
Yeah, and I think that's the best testament, right? Like if I have a challenging day at work and I come home, I'm like, babe, I just want to just not talk to anyone. You're like, okay, go take your time to do your thing, reset, regather, and reach out whenever. And it's the same thing, you know what I mean? But it's just letting the line of communication just be like, hey, I had a rough day of with life in general, and it's not even sometimes in work. It's just sometimes things just don't go accordingly. And so like, you come in and just reset. And I think that's the thing that I've gotten better of just like understanding that like I'm gonna have challenging days, but because not every day is gonna be perfect. And that's okay to admit that it's just life, you know what I mean? But how do I always try to figure out a way to just reset and refocus? It's having people like yourself, whether it's like a simple, hey babe, I just need to talk it over and get out of my system, or I just need to go do something, the gym, anime, video games or whatever it is to kind of clear my mind to reset. There's always trying to find out certain little hobbies to just reset yourself when you have those moments. And that's why the whole like choosing the bright side is literally just trying to figure out how to get back to where you feel like you're comfortable in yourself and bring you a sense of happiness and joy too.
I love that. And hang
Damn.
on, Master Skipper has a great question. I'll read it. And
Okay.
if you want to take it first, you can, and then I will certainly add my two
I'm with it.
cents.
I'm with it.
Okay, I have a question. How do you know if a cosplayer or a person has a fake personality? And how do you
Ooh,
deal with that?
damn, that's a good question. Truthfully, I don't even know how that even goes about it. I mean, I've always had just conversation with people, but I don't know. You know what it is I almost go into it with no expectation of who they are as a person. I just have to just like understand and meet people where they're at. You know what I mean? So to me personally, like if I shoot this up with someone, I'm just like, okay, you're cool. And until somebody does something wrong, I'm just like, I just have to take them. And then if they do something wrong, most of the time, I'm just like, that's not for me to decide who they are as a person. That's for them to figure it out. And that's okay. Like maybe they're just not at that um I guess just that level of intellect that I wanted, or I was hoping that it would be. But I think that's probably the best way I can answer that.
Well, so here's the thing. I wanna lovingly challenge that a little bit because I've witnessed you. Nana and I both feel people's energy. And this
Mm,
is what I would say to you, Master Skip, is so I teach people how to tap into your intuition. And we as parents, I know, well, actually, I did not do this, but I watch a lot of parents unintentionally condition out kids' intuition. So I'll give
mm.
you an example, right? Little baby Joey is 2 years old, and Joey feels Aunt Sally's energy, and Aunt Sally's a bitch, right? Aunt Sally's she walks in the door and she's like, "Oh, little baby Joey,"
Oh
and
my
then mom's
gosh.
like, "You gotta go give Aunt Sally a hug," right? No, you don't. You don't like Sally's energy. You don't have to know why. You just don't give Aunt Sally a hug. And I'm a huge believer of that. I walk into spaces a lot,
Mm,
and if I don't vibe with the person, I don't make up a story. I don't say they're bad. I don't know what they're, but I trust my intuition, and I'm
yeah.
like, "Look, they're not for me." And I will say this too, going to some cons with Nana, I feel people's energy of anxiety or
Yeah.
envy a lot when I'm at Nana's side. And like you can feel these people. And I just don't even engage with them. Like
Yeah.
if they want me to take pictures, cool. But I'm not gonna disrupt my vibe because you
Hmm.
are struggling with some internal battle that has nothing really to do with me, and it's
Yeah.
just a manifestation in my experience. And so
Mm,
trusting your instinct and being okay not vibing with everybody. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And now I want to get a little deeper. The reality is we're always playing different personalities because we're energy and we're malleable. Nana literally, when he goes to her, he's one personality. When he goes to
Yo,
Khan, he's a different
lock
personality.
the fuck in.
When he's in my house, he's a different personality. So I don't know that it's inherently an issue when people's personalities differ because depending on the situation, I may be
Yeah.
quiet and still, or I may be loud and boisterous, right? But
Correct.
I do trust energy. And that is my one non negotiable. If I ain't vibing with your energy, I'm not engaging with you.
That's yeah, that's like a mic drop moment. But I feel you on that. That's like so many times it's like the whole you're just reading the room, right? Like I walk into the room and I'm like, "Ah, I can vibe with this person. But then there's some people that they're just not there yet. You know what I mean? And it's not anything bad. They just haven't gotten there. I don't know their life experiences like Kerri was just talking about. It's just basically like we just are on different wavelengths. It happens all the time, even with coworkers at work. Like they're probably great people. It's just that like we have a different mentality of how to go about things. I'm super driven that I want to get things done. And some people are okay with just settling for whatever makes sense to them. And that's okay. But just understand at the end of the day, like we just have different personalities and mine might come off as like assertive or aggressive, but it's more because I just want to get things done and I want to get in front of people to help more people. And I don't want to be waiting around waiting for something to happen because I'm not, wishing for, oh man, I hope today's gonna be one of the days I just happen to sell 3 cars, but it's how do we get to that point of that too. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And again, here's the reality, guys. Everybody comes from their own perspective. There are 8 billion plus people out there with
Oh
8
my gosh.
billion different perspectives about
Yep.
life. And so it's not my job to understand your perspective. My job is to show up as love. And sometimes the most loving thing I can do is not do life with you because,
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm
from a karmic standpoint, if I know that I'm more likely to engage in maybe uh toxicity or whatever, then I'm setting myself up to get that back to me. I'm not even interested. I'd rather love you
Mm,
from afar and keep living my best life, my joy-filled life, which is what I do.
yeah. That's that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, 100%,
Yeah.
but it is challenging. The practice for me has
Yeah.
been to become aware of what I'm feeling and then not make up a story. So I really, if I walk into a room and I experience some type of energy, my brain will want to make up a story. Oh, that person's bad, that person's good, whatever. And I
Correct.
catch myself and I'm like, I don't know that. That's not a truth. That's just my perspective. But I do know that this doesn't feel good for me. And so then I make a different choice. And that's really where I encourage
Mm,
people to start giving themselves permission to start making choices because so often I witness people feel disempowered thinking they're stuck in jobs or stuck in relationships or
mm,
stuck with family dynamics that
yeah.
don't feel good for them because that's just familiar. But if you stay in those situations that don't feel good for you, all
Yeah.
you're doing is creating more experiences that are gonna feel like crap for you. So why not make a choice that may be scary because it's doing it differently, but that you might feel more peace and joy
Yes. Yes.
about?
Ah, I was gonna say, so then I know we talk about this every so often, but like for the new followers and people that also are on here, what are like some things that you do to try to like reset yourself when you do have like, say a challenging day? Like what are your tools that you do? Just at least
Well,
let
when
them know
I'm
too.
in my head and overthinking, I sing to my ego, then I'm laughing because it's really a silly
Yeah.
game. And then I'll send a text to my amazing Nana and I'll
Yeah.
sing a song because I can. And that's the
You.
way I come back. But no, like the reality is and I've told you this before, I feel so strongly about this. I truly believe joy is the quickest way to heal from addiction and mental health. Joy.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like, we think we're gonna think our way out of suffering. All you're doing is feeding more suffering.
Mm.
We believe that we have to problem solve and heal old wounds. The more joy filled you are, the higher vibrating you are, the more all of that stuff resolves for itself. And I can tell you, I know because I've done the work, I continue to do the work. And so when I'm having a tough day, even earlier today, I had tough moments. I I sing to the moment, or I'll go out and
Mm.
ground, or I'll call you if I'm having a moment. Like
Yeah.
yesterday, something happened, and I'm like, I just need to hear your voice. I don't need you to save me. I don't need you to give me
Nah.
advice. I just want to hear your voice because it's a
Yeah.
happy place for me. And that's the other thing, babe, is I give myself permission to do the things I want to that make me feel good so I don't stay stuck in that negative energy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't even know how to give themselves permission to shift their energy or perspective. So they feel like they're stuck and you're never stuck.
Yeah. No, I love that you bring that up because so this is switching paces or anything like that too. So I've seen a couple of my really good friends getting Anime NYC content creator badges, right? And I'm like, I'm rooting them on because I think it's cool as hell to see like the regular, like down to earth, cool people that I know get the badges. And I'm over here patiently waiting, man. I'm like, they gonna call me next. We gonna call the All Star lineup, and it's not even that I'm jealous. I'm just more like, just give me a yes or whatever the decision
But
is.
can I ask
Just
you, is there ever a moment where you feel a bit of envy?
I did. No, no, like I did feel envy in the beginning because I was like, damn, like I feel like I've been working like nonstop to like get these opportunities, which I'm grateful that I've gotten. But then I thought about it, right? I was like, no, but they also my friends have been putting in the same amount of work too. You know what I mean? And I don't know the parameters of like what the decision that comes about it. But I did feel some kind of envy, like, and that's just real shit. I'm not perfect. I'm human, right? But then the envy went past it when I was seeing a lot of people that I was just like, oh, they're cool as fuck. They deserve that shit. Like, I was like, let me root y'all on, but just know, like, when I'm there, if say whatever the outcome is, when I'm there, it's gonna be epic. And really, what my goal is really is the content creator badge. The only reason why I want it, because obviously I already have the ticket. We're already going to Anime NYC. But what I want to do is when I get it, I would literally just bring one person every day, like a random person, like, yo, like, I want you to experience. That's literally what I want it for. Like, like I'm not gonna sell my ticket or anything. I would just bring one random person. I post it on Instagram, whatever, who wants to go to Anime NYC. You'd probably go one of the days or whatever it is, whether it's Saturday or Friday, Sunday, whatever it is. And then I'll have 3 days where I'll just give it to somebody, like just so they can experience it. That's literally all I want it for. Like I don't care about the clout ideology of like, oh, you got that's great and all, which I know that like I work for, but that's why like I'm like it'd be cool to get it because I've already had the ticket for it. You know what I mean? So that's why like I'm like but I felt some type of way about it in the beginning, but then I thought about it. I was like, bruh, like it's just like I'm gonna be there either way. I know I'm gonna make my presence. Like I'm not worried about that. I know that like I know what I bring to cons, and the friends that I've gotten to make, and the friends I look forward to seeing, and like Danny to like Gabriella and them grabbing food with them after, like Tamba, like a lot of my peoples that like you know just are just down to earth people that I've met through cons, whether it's like Jay Rose to like Lorena, all these like big name people that put in the same amount of work, if not more. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? I really first want to celebrate and honor you for being humble and transparent because in this day and age, well, I think most people fear
Yeah.
being honest about how they feel. And the truth is, our natural state is peace and joy, but we've been conditioned to feel fear, separation, envy. And so it is incredibly natural and normal for people's first instinct to feel envy. And you and I
Mm-hmm.
had this conversation because I was
Yeah.
talking to you the other day about moments when I feel envious of you. And I am able to share that because I don't judge it in myself. It just means that I still have more work to do within
Yeah.
myself that has a story that says that we're separate anyway, right? Like, so I
Yeah.
appreciate but I
Shit. Yeah.
watched you put up on a Facebook post something about some people are jealous of you and whatever. And I saw all these individuals commenting. And the reality is if we can't look at ourselves and be truly honest about the fact that we all have moments of experiencing envy, then we can never transcend that part of us. That's one
Mm,
thing. And number
mm,
two, going to what Master Skipper said, he feels like that's the number one problem in the con and cosplay.
mm.
Reality is
Yeah.
it's okay to be human and then you can make a different choice. So you were like, yeah, oh, I feel envious, but I get to decide. I get
Yeah.
to choose how I'm going to respond. And I'm going to
Yeah.
choose to celebrate the crap out of my friends. I'm going to
Correct.
choose to, make a funny post about me going to the con. So you made a choice. And when
Yeah.
we give ourselves that permission to make a choice rather than either pretend that we're not feeling it
Yeah.
or judge ourselves for feeling it, well,
Correct.
then we transcend that emotion and eventually it ceases to exist in us. And that
Mm.
is really why I live and you live in a lot of joy too, because we don't resist what comes up for us. We just bear witness to it and then decide we're going to make a different choice. And for me, I always choose love, always. And I'm always honest about it. So if I feel some type of way about anything pertaining to you, I just tell you, not because I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to fix it or anything, because that is part of me continuing to honor the full expression of me and
Yeah.
letting things that no longer serve me go.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But I think that's what like I felt in that moment, and I was just like, like, you know what? It's cool. Everything will work its way out, whether it's meant to be or whatever it is. Like, I'm not worried about it, but I was just like, in my feels on that side. I was like, damn, like, it's like back to back to back, right? And I'm seeing like friends, friends, friends. I'm like, hey, yo, what is this? You know, like when they talk about the rapture and like people going up to heaven and shit like that. And I'm like, hey, yo, y'all go get your pass or not? We just go just wait outside of, like, we're not getting let into this club anymore.
Well, the thing is,
Yo,
I love being rejected like that because then I make
yes.
my own party. And you
Yes,
and I are really, really good at
yes.
doing that.
Oh, I mean, like the thing is, like I've always, I not always. Later on in life, I got better at using rejection as more of a fuel thing, right? So it's literally like, oh, I can't do this. Bet. Let me figure out how do I do it even better than what you had thought I couldn't do. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing, and I love that. I think that brings the best out of me. It brings the best creativity out of me because I'm just like, okay, okay, cool. But then there's also been great opportunity that's also opened up before that too. You know what I mean? Like with CradleCon that we're heading to next weekend, which is freaking amazing. So like shout out to Mixed Life Photography, aka Rod, for inviting us out there. So that I'm looking forward to because that's an opportunity to just open up from just a casual conversation at a con in New York Comic Con. And then obviously Rhode Island as well a month after that, which is really awesome. So shout out to Jack and Dusk as well for inviting, myself as a content creator guest. And it's there's opportunities that are definitely arising, and I think it's just steps to try to just keep getting better at the stuff that brings me joy and happiness.
Well, Master Skipper says a quote from my
Mhm.
favorite Batman film: "Why do we fall so we can rise back up?" So, side note, our daughter is obsessed
Batman is
with
her
Batman.
thing.
Like,
It
that
is
is
his
your
thing. It
if
is
you
his
go in her
thing.
room, it is Batman themed, and I love it so much, so I vibe with that
Where
cold.
is she? Where's Rachel? I actually have a Batman mask at work, by the way, if you didn't know this
Yes,
video.
you do, I've seen it.
I'm pretty sure I told you this, but like, yeah,
You've
it's
made
actually pretty funny.
content with it.
Huh?
You've made content with it.
I know it's always random as heck, but like it's hard to wear the mask with like glasses, so like I gotta take it off and be blind for like 30 seconds.
But going back to what Master Skipper said, the reality
Hmm.
is you have to descend to ascend further. Like when you
Ooh,
think about the enlightenment
consent,
symbol,
consent.
it's like squiggly lines. It's not this straight linear path upwards. And that's what I really try to encourage people. We condemn
What is that?
ourselves for being
What is
human, but
that?
the reality is you're not even your thoughts. Like, we operate from so much conditioning, programming, and habits we're not even aware of. 90% of our brain is just rote memorization from the past.
Mm,
And
mm,
so we have to experience envy, or we have to experience her, we have to experience all these things, because what that does is it brings awareness. It allows us to become aware of what we might not have realized existed within us in the first place. And then you just get to make a different choice, which is what you and I do all the time. It's not that
yeah.
you and I are above feeling envious or whatever.
No,
It's just
no.
that we are aware of it, and then we choose to make a different choice. And when you do that, you're actually reprogramming that unconscious pattern of behavior so that eventually it ceases to exist in the first place.
Yes, yes. And so I it's so funny because I was watching Invincible, the show that I've been addicted to.
Yep.
And so basically it's about this kid that's his dad's a superhero and then he gets superpowers later on. Then he has a conflict with his dad and basically his dad's race wants to control the world or the earth or whatever it is. And so he has an inner struggle and he's like trying to figure out what is the right decision and what is the wrong decision. So I feel like that's like internal struggle that we all have, right? You can choose you to feed either the dark side of yourself or the light side, which was kind of funny because you sent that message this morning, something of that nature to me. And so it's like watching the series, him going through deciding what's good and what's not good is a balance, right? It's a balance of his power of like literally like should he use his power for good or should he use it for evil, quote unquote, whatever it is. So like I don't know, it does thought it was interesting just to go like piggyback off of like what side of the coin do you end up feeding more depending on what state of mind that you're in. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Hmm.
Well, Master Skipper says you should cosplay Omni Man.
Yo, the funny thing is, oh, my friend Connor has a great Omni Man outfit. And I wouldn't mind Omni Man. That'd be a great one. That's the dad, and then Mark is the son, who's I kind of like his outfit, but he gets beat up all the time, bro. So I'm like, Omni Man is pretty badass. Like it's literally like Connor has the outfit. Connor looks like a great Omni Man, and I know he's gonna be doing it for one of the cons this year, which I can't wait for. So like, he might have me beat on Omni Man, but I might get a voucher for my outfit. You never know, depending on whatever makes sense.
Well, okay, let's pivot completely, because yesterday you were in the car with me, and this
Yeah.
goes back to living well for the listening audience, because living the bright side of life is choosing what brings you joy and giving yourself permission to have it. So you said to me, I really wanted this thing, and I've worked hard for the the goal that I reached, so I went and bought it. Now, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
put out the thing because you may have that on lock, but
Nah, nah, nah. You can put on the thing. You good. You good.
can you talk to me about the mentality of treating yourself after achieving a goal?
Oh, I deserve it. It's really I deserve it. You know what I mean? Like to whether it's working out at the gym to reach a certain build, to treating family right, to being supportive of paying bills of the house or whatever it is. Like I deserve it. I put in a lot of work, whether I'm at home or at work or doing con stuff. So like I felt no like when I reached my goal of just pushing over 25 plus cars in a month, I was like, yeah, I deserve something for it. I deserve a reward for myself. So I ended up ordering a Cyclops X-Men cosplay, which I've been wanting to do for a while. It's been in the back of my mind because I've been like, dang, I don't have any Marvel cosplays. Like, I have a Spider-Man one, but it's like just there. And so he's alright, but like Cyclops was always like one of the childhood characters because he had glasses and I wear glasses and they happen to be yellow. So I actually ordered the outfit and it was actually supposed to be in yesterday, but it's supposed to come in today. So we just put it out there that it'll eventually drop outside. And I'll go get it and be a kid at heart again. But it felt good. It was like I just knew that I had earned it. And it's with anything, right? You know, when you work hard, it's okay to spoil yourself. And I tell customers this all the time. Like when customers come in and they're just like, I don't know if I deserve it. I'm like, well, you bought your car in 2007. So I think you deserve it. It's supposed to be like, you deserve to spoil yourself because you've kept the vehicle for so long and it's done this journey and now it's gotten to the point where you're just putting way too much money into it. So like, why not spoil yourself? You know what I mean? And then they hit me with might be my last car and see them 3 years later. I'm like, so much for the last car. So yeah, that's what I felt like. But what about yourself though? How do you spoil yourself when you reach a certain expectation or anything like that?
I get that big black long dick energy.
Uh, uh, yo, I was not expecting that. Yo, you're bad, but
Well,
you're
we're
hilarious.
because let's be real, it's
Huh.
me, and if I haven't
I
said
mean, you
something
did all
outrageous
that.
in an hour, then I've disappointed myself. No, all
Yo, you're
different
bad,
ways,
buddy.
you know? Um, I'm just waiting for the noise to go away, so you keep answering
What
or
noise is that?
talking. Ellen's making a shake.
Oh, tell her I said what up. Tell her I said what up. But no, you're good. You're good. You like, is there any questions you want me to add or answer or anything like that too? Let me know. I think you're on
Hang
mute.
on. So, yeah, I keep going on mute so you
You
don't
good?
have
No, you're good. You're good. We on freestyle. You good?
um master
Skipper?
I want to keep saying Steven. I don't know why,
No,
but
it's Master Skipper.
Master Skipper says, I don't know if you already went over it, but cosplayers with big followers should not feel like celebs. Be humble.
Ooh, that is a great point. And this is not to bash anybody. I always tell people, even Kerri knows it. I always tell them like, I've seen like, cosplayers, content creators, and I'm like, shout out to you for get into whatever aspirations. And I've had friends that have set goals of like, trying to be at 10K. And I'm like, that's amazing. Like, if you get it, shout out to you, but just don't let it determine who you are as a person. Cause like there's even with myself, like if and when I get 10K, I'm still gonna be the same person that I was before. Like that's never been an aspiration I had. I just had regular people that I just followed. So like the 7,000 whatever followers that I have, these are all people that I just happen to just know, whether it's con or they reach out to me via like through life in general. And it's some of them are literally customers that have bought cars from me. So like it's really just like the friendship that I built. That's why when I go to a con, I'm able to like really intermingle with so many different people because these are friends that I've made over the course. And I'm not online famous or whatever you want to call it, but I'm just a down to earth dude. Like if you meet me, you're gonna get the same energy you see online. It doesn't differentiate that I'm like too cool to like, hang out with somebody who has, 50 followers. Shout out to them for having 50 followers or even them following whatever it is. Like at the end of the day, the followers shouldn't be the only thing that matters. It should be the impact that you present upon people. If you meet them at a, event, hopefully they're genuine enough to just keep it like humble about it and be like, oh yeah, like I appreciate you. Like I get excited when people come up to me and they're like, yo, I saw yourself on TikTok, like you're mad funny. And I'm like, you think I'm funny? Like my girlfriend's more funny than I am, but like you think I'm funny, like you know what I mean? And it's not to belittle myself, but that creates a sense of like joy and happiness because I'm just like, you took time out of your day to watch my stuff. There's so much stuff you can look online. It means a lot. And that does make me more humble because I'm just like, I'm literally doing everything that everybody else is doing. I'm just putting the stuff out that I want to enjoy, and it's not forced. Like I always tell Kerri, like even if when we record stuff, it's a random idea, and I'm like, "Yo, babe, that's actually kind of funny." And she'll say the same thing too. Like when we come up with our skits, this is not like us like math. It's literally us regularly living our life, and I'm like, somebody might find that funny. Like the Mario one to fucking Sonic on the bed that made no sense. Like with mounds, like Right? What the fudge? Yeah, so no, I get it. Like it's just understanding that like the followers shouldn't be the end all be all. Because at the end of the day, like you are your person, and people gravitate towards you with whatever it is. Like yeah, you might get a viral moment here and there, but like even at that, like the viral moment is just a viral moment. That's what it is. I hope that answers the question. Babe, I think I'm on mute.
You are on
Am I
mute.
on
I
mute?
keep putting it on mute so you guys don't have to hear the background noise.
Nah, it's cool. Whatever. Who cares?
Um,
Just let it rock.
but John 229924 says, "Hey Nana, it's Renda's son."
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, tell him what's
Well,
up.
he can hear you.
Yeah,
And then
oh, my phone, damn.
Master Super
What I
says,
got?
exactly, I'm always humbled being recognized as the Joker cosplayer and complimenting me over my positive energy.
It's fire. The cosplay, like you do a great job with even with like the Akainu from One Piece to like just the buggy. Like I'm like, yo, that's just tough. Like it's amazing. So like keep doing what you're doing, bro. You're on a great course, and I think the trajectory shows it. Like, I mean, you go to a con and people get excited to be like, oh, shoot, I got to get a picture of you or whatever it is. And I'm the same way or create skits whenever I can. You know what I mean? And I get pulled in so many different directions. Kerri can attest to that of like, I go to a con and I'm like one place here and then I'm gone like 2 seconds later because I'm just intermingling and enjoying the moment of being at a con. Because you only get, what, 3 or 4 days at a con and then it's like back to life, back to reality. You know what I mean? That song, you see what I just did there. Back to life.
No,
Okay.
you know, I was thinking it in my head.
I know, that's
Absolutely.
why I had to sing it for you. Yo.
What I would say to anybody out there when it talks about humility, again, a truly self-confident person who loves themselves is humble. And when I
Real
experience
shot.
people who utilize their money or their cosplay status or whatever as a method to separate themselves from
Yeah.
others, it tells me more about their internal state rather than it does about me. So again, it just goes back to always looking at what you can do in like for yourself to stay joy filled and not so much focus on what other people are doing, because the minute you focus on somebody
Mm.
else, you lose sight of the only person you can control, which is yourself in the first
Yourself.
place.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's so interesting because I watched a clip earlier today and it was Michael Jackson in the back
Oh my
of a,
gosh.
and he was jamming out, he was dancing, and the lady looked at him and like turned around. He had to be in his teens or like early 20s, looked around and like completely dismissed him. And I saw like the energy in Michael Jackson, like you could tell he was like impacted by that. And for a long time I would have been the same way. But now I'm gonna keep dancing. I'm gonna be jamming and vibing. You're
Yep.
gonna take it or leave it. It's not for me to decide how you receive how I
Yeah.
show up in the world, which is going back to the gym situation. Why the last time I was at the gym, I was singing again.
I know you're even at my gym too. You were singing, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay, look." That's how I was thinking. It's so funny. I'm like, most of the people at the gym literally have their headphones on, so they're like focused on doing their own thing. So for somebody to be like, "Oh, like who cares?" Like, it's just you're just living in the moment. Why does it bother you that much to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go talk to someone"? And shout out to you. I would have been like, "Bro, I'm just vibing." Like, in which you know it's not that deep. I'm at the gym. I'm literally working on my mental health and taking care of my body. What else did you want? Like, you know what I mean? So like I get it. I get it. But I love that you even brought up Michael Jackson because I know you sent me the video about him. It was like his energy and like how he was like just tap into people's like Super Bowl and somebody thinks I was like, yo, that's a whole different of like you just are that guy. You know what I mean? Like you're just on that level of like not even untouchable, but just like you just connect with people so much that they just literally like can feel your energy and you're just literally standing on top of the world in a sense. So I love that you brought him up
Well,
and
I mean, think about Florence from Florence and the
oh
Machine.
my gosh.
Her energy
Oh,
was magnetic, and you could see how
beautiful.
profoundly impactful she was to a lot
Yep.
of the people who were there. Like there were people who were crying, who were like
Yep.
totally blown away
Yep.
because to Master Skipper's point, she was so humble. She walked up to every
Oh my
person
gosh.
and, like, held
Never
their
let me know, never let me go.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was a beautiful one because it was so dope. Like just seeing it in person, it was just like the Linkin Park concert when
Yep.
Mike Shinoda walked through the crowd and like you can tell he was connecting with people, and it was like you can never relive that moment. Getting a hug from your one of your favorite artists, or getting a shot. Even the St. John concert, we were up front and center, and regardless of however the time frame of
No, I
him
didn't feel
from the
the
concert.
same energy from that concert.
No, but
We
hear me out, hear me
enjoyed
out,
it.
hear me out. We were up front though. We got to experience him as like him performing, right? And that was the biggest thing. As much as like, it could have been better, but we got to experience it in person. And this is an example for the next concert when he ever does decide to tour around. Hey man, like I'm trying to be in the front row again. No bullshit. Like I'm trying to be there early to make sure I can get front row tickets to like able to experience him as an artist. That's all. You know what I mean?
Well, as we start to wrap up, I do wanna add one more thing about the bright side of life, but going back to
Ooh.
what Master Skipper said about humility. Energy is felt. So kind of like going into a room and feeling energy that turns you off, you also feel energy that's very welcoming. So when I see
Mm.
people who may have a million followers, but they're really disconnected,
Yeah.
right? I'm turned off by that energy. If I have somebody who's in my presence who has 900 followers, but they are just so loving and kind, then I tend to gravitate. And a really good example of somebody who does that well is Lorena. I don't know her
Oh
last
my
name.
gosh.
The Dora the Explorer chick.
Loretta Parkour.
Yes, because she has what,
That
a
is
million
sis.
plus followers, but I watched her engage with people authentically when she was at New
Yep.
York Comic Con, and
Yep.
that those are the people I
That's
gravitate
sis.
towards.
That's sis. Like literally from the beginning. Like I met her, was it 2 years ago? And I was dressed up as Dora the Explorer. And she was ironically dressed up as Dora the Explorer that same day. And then her other friend Jason, who does like he's like a really big buff, like Dora the Explorer. And we just started shooting this stuff and they're like, yo, we should record some content. And I was like, sure, like y'all are cool as hell. Like I'm grateful to be in your presence, and it's been like a bond from that moment that she even invited me to be in her music video a year later. After like, and not that we talk on a regular basis, but once in a while I'll shoot her a message like, yo, just checking on you, sis, just make sure she's good. But like that's a genuine bond, and it's not like I'm using her for her fame or anything like that. That's just weird, first and foremost. Like I'm more like I love to promote her because she does what I would hope a content creator or an influencer would be. You know what I mean? As in like welcoming people. And you see her when you see her at cons, she's like, if somebody comes up and like, hey, I want to take a picture with you and there's somebody waiting in line, she's very big about like, let me get to this person first because they were here first. You know what I mean? Making it fair for people that can approach her. So it's not like, oh, like I'm dismissing somebody else. And I do the same thing too. I remember there was a con where somebody came up to me and they're like, yo, can I get a picture of you? And I was like, yeah, of course. And then a whole bunch of my friends came up out of nowhere and I remember telling my friends, I was like, wait, let me go take a picture of this person. But the person ended up leaving because I think she's just overwhelmed with people being around. But I literally went and found the person. I said, I didn't forget about you. I'm going to grab a picture of you. I literally walked, this is at Rhode Island. And I was like, I literally walked by and I was like, I got to grab the selfie with you because you asked for a selfie. I didn't forget. And you could tell how much joy it brought to the person's face of like, oh shit, like this person really took time to just come just make that
Yes.
moment for me. So that was really cool.
And so
But
that's what I would leave this show with is that,
mhm.
energy is felt whether it's genuine
Yeah.
energy or whether it's false pride. And so, regardless of who you are, what you do, if you trust that energy, you'll never be steered wrong. But you got to trust your own
Mhm.
gut. And that takes a practice because we've conditioned intuition out of people. But
Yep.
I encourage you to start to foster it because you will never, ever, ever be led astray if you trust yourself.
Ooh, damn. Okay. Um, damn. What do I say after that? That's like go be awesome, stay positive, and spread joy and happiness.
I love it. Until next week, which is episode 50, which
Wow. Wow.
50. Crazy.
Wow.
Okay. Until next week, we will catch you guys on the flip side.
Gang gang. Ah.